love it when you call me Big Yeasty. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true baker. Who would have thought that this guy would have been the master manipulator that he is turning out to be when his friend decided to say some things, but we will get to all those bombshell accusations. But first, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends, and if you want to support the channel, drop a super thanks. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for all the support. This season is heating up, and it is getting interesting by the day, but I can't say I'm surprised because none of them really seem like they have good intentions at heart. But let's start up with something more lighthearted, and Sarper, who is basically Mary Tyler Moore in a new city where he's in California meeting everything new for the first time, but they make fun intros every time. I mean, come on. It's like, look, is this not like Sarper entering a new city, like he's going to go shopping and throw the bags in there and everything? I mean, come on, look at this. It's like the new hottest sitcom is Sarper and Shekinah and take California by storm or something like that. They make it so fun, but in reality, there's always hijinks. It's like he couldn't continue the drama. This is one reason why I think that maybe Sarper's transformation is at least somewhat genuine, because if they could continue the drama, they would continue the drama. But all they have is these fun little goofy things he does and his hijinks, and he's got to meet the daughter. That's it. So, starting to make me think maybe he is really the new guy he keeps saying.
Silence of a woman. It is just like the silence of the lambs, you know?
Okay. I'm not going to lie. If Sarper ends up being a stand-up comic and doing a routine, I will go to a show and I will be the only one laughing because I think it's hilarious that he thinks his jokes are funny, but they're not funny, but which makes him funny, which maybe it makes him a genius comedian. I don't know. I'm not a comedian, but I'm just saying, entertaining.
Hang tight. We're going to do a quick pivot. Oh my God.
Oh, good Lord. So it was nice of him. He came up with this idea of whale watching, but didn't go according to plan. Oh, good Lord. They're all sick, that none of them feel well, and the boat's just going back and forth and crazy. And poor Sarper trying to come up with something fun to do. But you know what? I can endorse this because at a point in my life when I was much younger, me and my mom went on, probably not the same one, but a whale watching thing in California. And let's just say it ended similarly. So I don't know. Whale watching seems fun and all, but in the 3 days a year that the seas are calm, maybe. But it doesn't go that way always. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Yes. Poor Sarper planned this whole thing and then ends up just getting sick. Now, Mark decides to take Mina from North Carolina, where he had the disaster with his family, to Florida to go to a boutique that a friend owns. Now, the thing about this friend is the friend introduced him to his ex, who he had a lot of history with. Now, he seems like he's on friendly terms with this ex, but do you think that would be a good idea for him? I'm gonna critique the hell out of it, but just at face value, does it seem like a good idea? What the hell was Mark thinking? This is where the fun begins.
Helped her get a BMW, and that was actually a thing between Jordan and Gabe.
So Diana decided to go ahead and reveal that not only did Mark buy Jordan a BMW in the past, but he helped, which Diana said just outright bought, Jade, his ex, a BMW. Well, now she's presenting this to Mina. Now, why do you think Diana is presenting this to Mina? Why would she even bring that up? What's the point if she's such good friends with Mark? Unless there's an ulterior underlying motive, and it becomes clear soon.
I introduced my best friend Jade to Mark, and they completely hit it off. During the time they were dating, he had went out and bought his daughter a BMW, and he went and got Jade one as well.
There you go. So he's downplaying it according to Diana. But the interesting thing is that this was Diana's best friend, or is Diana's best friend. And you don't think, or if you don't think that she has something going on, a reason for her to say these things, that it wasn't just a slip of the tongue, wait until you see some of the more things she says.
Photo, and he was talking about you. The way he said it was, oh my God, I met this beautiful woman in France, and she reminds me of Jade.
Good God. Pile it on thick as possible. It's like if there was a handbook for how to piss off a significant other. This girl is going by it. Come on, please, if you had any doubts, you cannot tell me that this is not on purpose. There's no way it's not on purpose.
He goes to Paris. He called me to tell me that he had met somebody that reminds him exactly like Jade.
Good God, it just gets worse and worse. Why the hell, for one, why is Mark so trusting of this lady to call her Jade's best friend and say, I just met a girl that reminds me exactly of Jade. And whatever, I'm falling in love with her, whatever you want to say. But why the hell would he call her to say that? Why would he trust her? Maybe he's just a really trusted guy, but if this is the best friend of Jade, and, oh, by the way, she brings up some other things he did, he should have known this probably wasn't the best idea. Also, I think Diana is exaggerating the truth on some level. Some of it's true, some of it's exaggerated. I believe that she is trying to get back at Mark because of wrongs he might have done to Jade, so in this way, he is sabotaging his current relationship. Now, Mina's not in it for the right reasons, that's pretty clear. But at the same time, they're doing a good job to flip it and show Mark as looking like the bad guy here. There's probably some truth to what she's saying, but she's laid it on quite thick. I mean, look at the side-by-side of them. Jade on the left and Mina on the right. Now, the girls themselves don't look, too much alike. They have some similarities maybe, but not really. But the pictures are almost identical. It's like he's trying to live a certain lifestyle with a certain person, and he does the same things over and over and over again. And that's kind of crazy to look at right now, which is why I say he is not, but I've never said he's innocent. He's not. He couldn't stand up to his daughter, so that's a problem. But either way, this kind of goes to show that what's he trying to do here? But it gets worse because it makes it seem like, oh, he just is this guy that just wants a family and everything. Well, he might not exactly have the, single-focused eye, if you know what I'm saying.
Parce que je l'ai demandé plusieurs fois s'ils ont habité ensemble, il m'a dit pas du tout.
So Diana then revealed that actually him and Jade lived together in Florida. And now Mina's like, hold on a second. He told me they never lived together. I caught him in a lie. Maybe there's more to it than that. But if you're not adding up 2 + 2 = 4 at this point, and you're still saying 2 + 2 = 7, then there's a problem. Because the reality of the situation is there is no way that Diana is just accidentally letting all this stuff slip. She doesn't know Mina. She's just meeting her, and yet she's going to spill every little detail about Mark's past. No, this screams a best friend who is trying to get vengeance for her friend. Maybe she is friendly with Mark, but I hate to break it to you, there's plenty of women out there who can be vengeful and be nice to your face and do this stuff behind your back. So, she's doing this for her friend. Now, ain't nothing wrong with her being hurt if her friend was wronged, but it's also very, very over-exaggerated.
Pictures with other girls. So he was cheating on her essentially when they were living together.
And there it is. There is the coup de grace. There is the, cherry on top. She is now saying that he was cheating on her, basically saying that while they were living together, he left an iPad, the phone was connected to the iPad, and she came across communications with other women. Now, there's of course more than that. You think it can't get more? There's always more. But this is the cherry on top because it's the cheating allegation. Now, whether this is true or not, 100% partially true, maybe they had troubles, who knows? It's their relationship. But I guarantee that Jade came to her best friend and said the worst of the worst about Mark, whether all of it was true or not. And the best friend has that information and is taking this opportunity to get back. This is a revenge play. She's not leaking information. She's not accidentally sharing information. You don't share all this personal stuff with someone you just met for the first time and are supposed to be finding clothes in your boutique for. No, you do this on purpose, and that's what she's doing.
I think that Mark's being very honest. I didn't mean to tell her anything I thought that she didn't already know.
You're a freaking liar. You are a damn liar, lady. A liar, a snake, some sort of gremlin, I don't know. You're a liar. I can completely disagree with Mark on a lot of things, but you saying you didn't think she knew, just be honest and said, I knew she knew, but he did my friend dirty, and, I'm going to tell her the truth, if that's what you believe. Go ahead and say that. Don't act like you didn't know what you were doing.
Go to Turkey to meet Maddie in person.
Welcome, guys. How are y'all?
Hey, how you doing? All right,
very good.
Look, I'm not going to lie. This guy, he looks like a guy that is a glass blower. And I'm not saying that as some kind of negative. I'm not saying that as a pejorative. He just looks like a guy I think I'd find in a glass blowing place. And I would be happy to do that activity. So good for you, bro. That's a hard skill. I can't imagine that's easy to do.
Beautiful. All right. We just blew the piece.
All right, so blow into the metal pipe that the random hippie kind of dude told you to blow into. I'm just saying, you can say you sanitize it all day, but damn, I don't know about that. You may want to get checked after that one.
To blow on, but I think he was slightly paranoid that there was a lot of germs on there.
Yeah, why would he not be? It's a random metal pipe. Even if you wipe it down with, Clorox wipes that are 99.9% get the germs off, then still but it's a random metal pipe that I'm blowing into for a recreation that many people pay to do. So, no.
Don't hold it in because you've got to communicate those things.
That's a problem.
But one problem is that, I say something and it totally fires back.
Now, the typical advice is, don't hold it in, you'll let it build up, all that. Problem is Maddie has been pretty honest since day one about how he's feeling, and that has gotten him in nowhere, basically, because she always gets upset when he does say these things.
Because I keep thinking Maddie needs to make up his mind, and I keep saying, I need to know how you feel, but maybe it is me. Maybe I'm uncertain.
There it is. She's finally had the epiphany that maybe it's her that's not certain because she wants to make every excuse for Stevie, such as he wants to go home. He just said he was homesick and he thought about visiting. That's it. He never made any declarative statements or anything. He actually told you he was going to stay there. So this is you having a problem and being afraid. If you are, just say it so, he can start to think, is this the right thing for me? Because it's a huge change.
Bonnie slept on the couch.
Oh gosh.
Seems like everyone took a step back.
Yeah, because this is all stupid and everything is dumb and this is never going to work and you can't see it. Your wife can't see it. The stripper knows exactly what she's doing. And if y'all can't figure that out, then y'all are both the biggest idiots I've ever heard. And by all accounts, y'all should have some brain cells up there.
It's it feels like a fight between me and her that he doesn't want to get involved in. And that really complicates things. And last time I checked, we're in this together. It should be our...
You're not in this together. You know why? Because he didn't want to be in it. He had reservations. You talked him into it. And now you want to say if he's not backing you up in the throuple, which by all definitions is 3. Sorry, that's 6. 3. And what are you going to do with 3 in a couple? You all are supposed to work together, right? You can't have it both ways. That's why this is never going to work. And you are just trying to feed some fetish you have about having 3 people having a girlfriend while still having a husband, or wife while still having a husband, whatever it is. And that is more confirmed later on with some of her statements.
Finding out that really no one knows about us in her life makes me step back and wonder, who are we to her? All I see is love.
A paycheck. I can answer that for you right now. You are a paycheck to her. That's it. That's all it's been. Y'all getting offended because she hasn't mentioned you to her family is the dumbest crap I've ever heard. The fact that y'all actually think this is something real, you actually think the random stripper you picked up in Mexico and just kept around is going to be the one that's going to be in some crazy throuple with you, where all you're doing is potentially messing with your kids and everyone else around you that might mean something, because no one's going to look at you and think that's a good idea. And your kids are just going to suffer because they're going to be confused as hell.
I didn't know that
what?
Pushes you more further away from her.
What? Okay, he sees his wife. See, he at least in the back of his head, he's got some sense. He's trying to shove it back, but it's starting to come out because this is such a crazy situation. He cannot put aside the fact that he loves his wife. So, when he sees his wife hurting, he immediately comes to her aid. His wife cannot grasp the fact that he would try to put his wife first and try to and push the feelings of whatever this else is, which for him is nothing more than sex. It just is. It puts that aside for his wife. You know why this is going the way it is? And the crazy part is that she doesn't understand it, is because he didn't want to be in this to begin with. He said he had reservations, but after a while of his wife convincing him, here you are. And now you can't seem to understand how he's not putting another woman ahead of you. But yet you get mad when he does kind of step back. It's the dumbest crap for someone who's supposed to be smart, because she was like some tech person. She really comes off as dumb.
I've known you and got to know you for so long now.
You said you...
He has to explain to his wife why he loves her more than he loves the stripper they met in Mexico. Let that sink in. Huh?
Loved her, and now you're saying that you don't. Isn't this the whole...
She is bothered that he said he loved this girl, who, by the way, he probably said he loved this girl because she said it and said, don't you love her? Said, sure, I love her, whatever, it's nice, we can have sex, whatever. And now she's upset because he's saying, look, I'm never going to love her as much as I love you. What woman says that? Like, seriously, is there any woman that's going to be like, okay, I'm sorry, I get it, there's these niche groups out there, but a woman in a marriage, or, you know, or a man in a marriage, are they really going to look at their significant other and say, but you don't love this other person? No, they're going to be like, you are here for me, we took vows, we committed ourselves to each other, we're not putting another person in this relationship. But she just can't get past the fact that she wants this lustful third person. That's it. I love it when you call me Big Yeasty. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true baker. Like this guy every time with the hip hop beat. Look, I can get down behind it. Look, I really can. I love it. I can get down behind the hip hop beats. I just don't know why they're doing it with him. It's hilarious, but I'm here for it.
In Uganda, all my friends are very well in shape.
Okay. Now, his explanation to this.
She lives to Kampala. It's in between two mountains. So when people do walk to work, they're going like up and down, up.
And although that is, I'm sure, true, I don't know much about Uganda, but although that is probably true, I guarantee that they eat a better diet. I guarantee that they're in better shape because they're eating a better diet and not eating such junk processed food. Now, I love America. I love my country. I'm a patriot. What can I say? But this is the thing about it. We acknowledge that there's a big weight problem here. Clearly, you know, I could go and get 12 donuts from about 3 places I can throw a rock right now. Will I do that? Probably, because I like donuts. But the point is that the food is not the healthiest that we just go out and buy. If you want healthy food, you're more having to do it yourself. And a lot of people are lazy. So what can you say? So he is just trying to make an excuse when in reality, he's not wanting to do the work of getting in shape. And look, looking at that guy, my man, if you don't get in shape soon, you're going to have some serious problems later in life if you don't already have them now. And if you don't know this about me already, I'm a big advocate for fitness, you know, eating right, doing all these things because it just makes you feel better.
I still want to go back if you don't get a real job.
Aha!
I don't know, it just hurts, baby. It really does that you would say that.
It hurts that she would say that, but you have turned down jobs and you don't have any real money coming in and you're talking about living with your mom for 2 years. Look, I'm not a big person that loves, you know, ultimatums and things like that. But at the same time, I'm like, if you can't provide for the family, she would be completely justified in saying, I'm not going to marry you and I'm going to go back. That's a reasonable response. And he's hurt by it. Get a freaking job. Now he's talking about he has an interview, but the worry there is he going to blow that up or is he going to just quit a job if he doesn't like it that much? Sorry, the reality of the world is not everyone's going to just love their job, but you do it because you got to pay bills, you got to provide for your family, and the fulfillment comes in the family. The fulfillment comes in taking care of loved ones, taking care of your wife, taking care of your kids. That's where that fulfillment comes in if you don't have like a job you absolutely love.
A little blindsided by this with the deadline today. Never before have I felt that she doesn't believe in me and trust in me.
Well, before, she didn't realize that you weren't like trying to work or anything like that. So she gave him a deadline, said 2 weeks. And look, to his credit, getting a job, sometimes it does take a lot longer than 2 weeks. I mean, depending on the job, obviously, but a lot of jobs take longer. He's talking about a city job. They take a good amount of time to get everything in, get your background checks, drug tests, all that kind of stuff in. So 2 weeks probably isn't enough if he were to even get the job. So she moves it to a month. Still, sometimes with those jobs may not be that great, but really it's clear that what she wants to see is progress. If you're in the process, if you're going through you're getting a background check, you're doing all these things, she's probably going to cut you some slack because she's going to assume you don't have anything in your background, unless you're lying about that. So she did this to kick you in the butt, basically, because you're lazy and you're hoping to open a bakery, but you don't even have funds to pay for rent. So, explain?
In the most American place.
America!
That they could be, like hot dogs,
yes.
American flags, the noises, crowd, everything.
I mean, seriously, like, what's more like American than Monster Jam? I mean, listen, full disclosure, I've never been to Monster Jam, but just the fact that the monster trucks, the craziness, like he said, hot dogs, American flags everywhere. I mean, it is a pretty American feel, just fun with the family, all of these things. So he's like, well, this is crazy American, isn't it? It's pretty funny. He's still having that culture shock, but at least Stevie's dad is taking him out and doing something with him because he's kind of softened up a little bit.
Talking, if you want her number, I think that it would be in your best interest. You're going to marry him. You know what I mean?
And the deal sealer is she offers Jade's number because you're marrying him and, you want to make sure everything is accurate. Now, I hope everyone can acknowledge that one of the problems with this is one of the people, especially if it kind of ended a little volatile, no matter which way it ended, that's probably not going to be honest is, a couple people. The ex and the best friend of the ex. And you're dealing with both of them, and Mina is taking it hook, line, and sinker. Now, I'm not saying everything she's saying is not true. There's probably some truth to it. Maybe he did cheat. Maybe he did do some of these things. But at the same time, it's going to be over-exaggerated. It doesn't make it right, but you are going to get the worst of the worst possible story. So, we will see how it plays out, but it's not going to add anything positive to the relationship. I will say that. Now, that is the look of a girl who's like, I did good. I'm going to call Jade and let her know what I just did. Jade, I got your back. I told her that this and this and this, and I told her all about what he did. She's probably going to call you so you can tell her all this. Look. That is what's going on behind the scenes. So whatever the real truth is, Mark better come out with it, because if he doesn't say his side to the story and just keep saying none of it happened, then all it's going to look like is that the other girl's telling the truth, because what do you think Mina's going to believe? She's going to latch onto Jade because it's a negative thing and she likes to latch onto those things. So he better come out with it.
I personally love the house. I think the house is adorable, but there are definitely some things I would want to go, so I understand why she would want them to go.
Now, this girl, who is supposed to be Aaliyah's good friend or something, is basically saying that she doesn't like a lot of the stuff in there, when in reality, she does like a lot of the stuff, but she's just trying to say that for Aaliyah's benefit. This girl, that's kind of minor in the grand scheme, I get it, but this girl was the one that was causing trouble back in, when they were in the other country, talking about a prenup and all those kind of things, just bringing up stuff that really had nothing to do with her, but she was butting in, so it's not good. Now, that being said, there should be nothing going on with Sean and Aaliyah. There's nothing there. They're not going to, the storyline is the same. It's going to be the same every time. The fact that he's not ready for the marriage, he really wants a dude, but he's fighting with whatever he's fighting with because, there's really no point for it. It's pointless. Aaliyah wants to be here, I guess, for the glitz and glamour. I don't know. There's no other way they can go but to break up and separate. At this point, it just seems like they're just doing it for the show.
That we could put the wedding off because I think our relationship keeps changing.
And there it is. He doesn't really want to get married because the relationship keeps changing. Code word, Aaliyah wants to be a woman, and I'm not down with that, basically. Because once Aaliyah starts getting things added or things cut off, yeah, I don't know if I can get down with that. And yet he's not saying that outright because, he's afraid of, I don't know, being canceled? I don't really know. But look, if you like what you like, so just be honest with it, because this whole thing is pointless.
A source of fear, like you don't know what's coming next. You don't know the person that you're marrying, who they're going to be. But I just hope it's not a recipe for disaster.
It is. It is, basically. It's going to be nothing but a disaster. There's no way this is a happily ever after that anyone thinks it might be, and you're hoping as the friend that it's not going to be a disaster, but it's going to be the most epic of disasters.
Hearing him take responsibility for how the situation with him and Shreya did go downhill really opened my eyes as to how he has changed.
Okay, good, and he did take responsibility. Now, the problem with that was, and that was, it was the whole thing with like, I don't like how Shekinah is whore, or how you say, slut, bitch. Like, he just went down the line. It was pretty bad. But at the same time, it was, in typical Sarper fashion, it was kind of entertaining because he's kind of ridiculous all the time. But, over the top, crazy, shouldn't have been calling her names, whatever. But it was in front of the sister who already was skeptical and kind of doesn't seem like a nice person. So now he's taking responsibility, and that's why I say part of it is genuine, I think. But I don't think he's going to be able to win over her sister. I don't think that's going to go well. So if it's hinging on that, and that's going to win over the daughter, they might as well pack his bags now.
We've opened up our entire lives to Ani.
Oh, so okay.
I need to see Ani step up for the relationship.
Okay.
I need to.
What? Because she hasn't even said you're both in it. These people make the dumbest statements I think I've ever heard.
See her sacrifice the things that people sacrifice.
Oh, you mean like sacrifice your children? Because that's what you're doing in bringing in a throuple, getting divorced so one of you can marry her, all this crazy stuff. You're just like, hey, CPS, come on over. Come on in. It's like, we're open to it. Come on. That's what you're doing right now. And oh, by the way, never mind the fact that your kids are just going to have so many mental problems for not understanding what's going on while you're telling everyone that, oh no, they understand. We explained it to them. They don't. They don't get it.
Every day I spend away from my children, I want to make sure that this is worth it, that you are here for the right reason.
Stop invoking your children. This is what she tries to do, to be like, I'm a good mom though. Like, I want to go back to my children. I miss my children. Every day I spend apart from my children has to be worth it. It's not. You're bringing in some random stripper who's not going to be a good influence for your children and saying, every moment I spend away needs to be good. It's not. You're a liar. You're not acting as a good mom at this point.
You know what'll make me feel better?
What? What? I'm on pins and needles. I'm at the edge of my seat.
Like a quickie?
And the shocker of all shockers. Everything's good now because she isn't able to think objectively at what's good and say, hey, that was kind of a midlife crisis we just went through. Let's go home to our kids and actually live the happy life as husband and wife raising our children and have that fulfillment. No, instead, hey, you know what made me feel better? A quickie. Okay, everybody? Everybody's up on it now? Like, my God. I mean, I can't comprehend the lack of brain cells in this one.
All my intentions, I'm not going back to Iran, and I'm not having second thoughts.
There you go. Okay, so he's been pretty adamant about it. Now, I understand that's not going to make Stevie feel better because anytime he says, I miss my family, she's going to think, oh, you're going to run away because she has that catastrophic thinking. But he's been pretty clear that he's not going to go back to Iran. He's in this for the long haul. So take him at his word for now. I haven't seen too much to say, oh, he's just a liar at this point, but we'll see.
Il a soi-disant oublié, mais pour moi, ça remet en question de sa sincérité.
Okay, what does she do? All right, so she texts Jade. Hello, Jade, it's Mina, Mark's fiance. I spoke yesterday with Diana, blah, blah, blah. With you about her that could help me clearly, if you don't mind, of course, over coffee. Thank you so very much. So setting it up. And guess what she says? Hi, Mina. Of course I would love to meet you. Let's do it. And this is what her face at home when she gets that. She's like, oh my gosh, it's my opportunity to get back at him for everything I believe he did, everything he did, everything I perceived he did. Whatever, everything in her head, this is how she can get back at her. So I'll be shocked if she comes there and meets and says, look, Mark's really a great guy. It just didn't work out. Not after what her friend says. So this should be fun.
She tell me Mark lied me. I go back to Paris.
Okay, so she's saying that if this ex-girlfriend tells her that Mark is lying to her, then she's going to go back to Paris and she can't stay. What is your barometer for him telling the truth? Are you at least going to be objective and say, okay, she told me this, but I'm going to try to see if I can get to the bottom of it, talk to him a little bit more, gauge, read body language, whatever you need to do to get the sense of if there's maybe some deception on either end, if he's telling the truth, if he's lying about some things, whatever, or you're just going to believe the complete stranger ex-girlfriend at face value. It is not the best thing to do. So I don't know what she's doing here, but clearly this is going to get interesting real quick. Oh, here she comes. They do the full, gotta do the reveal, but they stayed on her butt for a really long time. So, gotta love the cinematography.
Oh my God.
Okay, so the question is, what's going to happen? Because this is where they leave it. It goes off, but it's been some allegations now about cheating with Mark, so that should be interesting. Has he been sleeping with other people? Is he currently sleeping with other people? I mean, the guy does have a private plane. He flies private jets all over the world, so God knows what maybe he's doing, and this might be the letting the cat out of the bag per se. But I still would take what she says at face value because clearly she's not in it for the right reasons. She just wants to stir something up just like her friend. Now, we'll see what she has to say, but clearly there's some drama going on that they're trying to get going. So we'll see how that all plays out. it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun and interesting at other people's expense, which is the nature of the show. But we will see. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends, and drop a super thanks if you want to support the channel. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for everything y'all do, watching every week, all the comments. Y'all are great, and I will see y'all next time.